and you will see more people here on Zoom. Hi, I'm Mahesh. I think most of you will know me. Can people in the cohort raise your hands? If you are part of the cohort, just raise your hand. I just want to make sure that who I'm talking to today, how much new people, how much I need to be worried about people who are not in the cohort. Okay, a lot of you. Got it. So today's participants has requested captioning the meeting. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Let's caption. Okay, who am I? Who you're talking to? I will be quick because most of you know me. Not share slideshow. Okay, I'm Mahesh. I worked at Google, AWS, Meta. I've done a lot of work in AI. I worked on platforms. I've worked on AI services. I have built end-to-end AI agents. Uh, the most thing that I love doing is teaching a course. I have a course on Maven. Most of people you are seeing here who raise their hands are part of current cohort done cohorts with us before. Ritu is here, and I can see Pawan here. That's great. So that's quickly about me. And that's my LinkedIn. If you don't know me, just go there. You can just Suveshna is just moving around. So I need to just not see her. But if you don't know me, just go take this link and send a friend request. I can still accept friend request unless I reach the limit. So thank you for doing that. There is a community that we have. That's the course. I think the most amazing course on planet Earth. You can lower down your hands. That's okay. Otherwise, I don't know, when people will actually raise their hands. That's the course where we teach agentic AI. We take this new approach, which is really complex, hard. You should have sympathy for people who are doing the course now because we throw a lot at them. We throw AI ecosystem. We throw ML and AI concepts. We give hands-on lab, and then we give them work to write a PRD. So just a lot. And most of you who have done the course, Ritu, Pawan, say thanks or keep a support system for new people like Hassan and Chris. But we do have a community too. That's the community link I thought. But we are trying to sell the course more than the community seems like. Maybe next time. But quickly, rules for this discussion. We have more than 120 people on the call. Please come on camera. I like talking. Hi, Amin. Talking to people. I want to see if I'm putting you to sleep or not. My goal is to not. So thank you. Listen, learn, use the chat interface. There will be a lot going on. It's a busy session. It's not a Q&A specific session. We do Q&A where we'll just say, you ask me questions and I answer them. And then those are interesting sessions. I think we should do more often those. But today is a very specific session. So if you have questions, just paste it in the chat. Karan from team, I will take breaks and take those questions. In between, I will keep asking you. If I ask you a question, just raise your hand. If it is yes or no, you need not to raise hand. Just say yes or no. With the rules out of the box, let's get started with today and let's see what we plan to do. All of you are preparing for AIPM interviews. I know it's a long journey, and I thought maybe one day you can interview me and all of you can see how I will respond to interviews. You can find all the faults. It's the hard thing to do, especially being an AI instructor. People think you are like God, like you can crack all the interviews. You will see how bad I am. But the luxury I have with this community is that I can do these trapeze acts without nets. So we'll do that. We'll do it with a case study, and we will see this three-pronged approach of we'll see first how you understand the problem, what's the issue at hand, why they are happening behind the scenes. We'll bring those insights in the first section. I've divided into three sections. So first is understand, then you will identify the opportunities. So here you will go and figure out with your teams that, hey, what can we do? And we have a framework for that, which we'll touch on, which hopefully that's why I got your hands up. So I know and I can point to you. Week 2 people have gone through that framework of coming up with ideas, especially Wednesday session people who have done it with me, and Saturday ones. I'm looking at you to solve that. How you identify the opportunities, and then how you set execution. I will be using board, not the slides, so we can be interactive, more agile, but that's pretty much it. And once you do that, then we can discuss, if time permits, that how to stay up to date and practice more. That's it. So step one, how to get calls. Most of you have not the problem of solving or getting into how to get, most of you are struggling to get AIPM calls. And for that, I don't have a solution, but I'm working on one solution. Our team is working on one solution. Some people are here. We are trying to build a bot which helps you do three things: identify right jobs for you, automatically uh, applies them for you. And then if you get rejection, it suppresses them and puts them in a folder so you don't get depressed in the journey. So I think that's the idea. And if that happens, then here is a form. Uh, all of you have link to this deck. If not, somebody will put it in chat so you have it. Here is the link to the form. And it's just a 2-question form. So if you can fill that, we'll put you on the backlog. We're just doing the pilot right now with one person, but that's where we are. But hopefully we can get to 10 by next week and then 100 by next week. That's the goal. So please fill the form. We'll only inviting people to try this at this point. But I think if we can solve that, then you get into the second problem, which is how would you convert these calls, how you talk to hiring managers, how you solve case studies. And this year, last year, it was more like, okay, tell me about this, tell me about that, because most of the people have not built things. In 2024, most of the companies have iterated on one or couple of features already, and they have seen that they are not working, or they already know what their problems are of AI adoption. And that's coming up in 2025 interviews. I am super blessed because most of the our cohort members share their interview experiences. With that, here is a case study that companies are giving, which is, if you are going for an interview, they will give you a case study like that. I want you to read it, take 2 minutes. So what they have done is, it's an my AI is an AI powered platform. It's a knowledge management platform. So today people will go there, store their information, and then it's integrated into their own enterprise software. So imagine S3, but better than S3, a layer on top of Amazon S3 is a storage system. It allows you to store all kind of files. But imagine you have built a knowledge management platform on top of it, and it's already integrated with enterprises. And they have launched a service integrates across 3 core products. You can store documents, you can attach it to your workspaces, and it has a hub of centralized knowledge of all your company, which you can do searches today. And they have launched last year, 2024. They got super excited because their CEO, like every CEO, went to a conference called reInvent or Build or NVIDIA GTC. And what they did is they said, we're going to build a Q&A. You can upload a document and ask any questions. They did that. They did text summarization. So for workspaces, if you have a document, they can summarize it for you. They can summarize all or every kind of document. So you can do Q&A on a single document, and you can summarize documents. Then on the hub space, where you have all the company documents or everything that you have stored there, you can ask questions also. We need to identify new capabilities, but Q&A multiple documents. So they have used RAG. Anybody knows RAG? Can somebody tell me RAG? Okay, anybody, just tell me. Don't need to raise the
Re-
hand. Just start talking. Whoever's
Retrieval augmented generation.
and what does it do? Why it is needed in this case, Hassan?
In
In
fact,
fact,
it's a
training
very
models with internal sources to make it more efficient in terms of accuracy and give you accurate results.
It gives you accurate results, but why it is needed in the last and not in the first one? If I have a single document, I can do Q&A without RAG. And why they said it RAG only for the hub use case when it is multiple documents?
Because it requires extensive resources in terms of the tools that are required to integrate. And secondly, the resources in terms of training your engineering teams So considering those certain constraints, so it's better you prioritize as a post MVP rather than a pre MVP.
Okay, answer. Great answer is okay. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. Okay,
Information.
great answer is great. Sorry, Chris, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry, I was thinking information has to be most current, because if you tend to use other, you tend to lag in terms of your data.
Perfect. I think all of you are almost nearby. Let me land three things why they will do RAG in this case. One, just the context size. I'm not more a single document. Single document, 2 million pages, 1,000 pages, I can handle without RAG. But RAG allows me to handle 10,000 pages because I'm only retrieving context of relevant document. And when you start doing document hubs, you get into this world of kind of not limited models take limited context. Your document can have unlimited context. So how can you retrieve and augment only relevant context is where RAG shines. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is what you said, which is higher accuracy or current knowledge that you can augment. And that's why they did that. So that is last year, by the way. They already launched it. Now, for you, they are asking the question, hey, the engagement is 20% only. We launched this service. It's single document. It can summarize everything. It does Q&A across documents, and only 20% people are buying it. We thought we will sell our premium service, but we have only 20% active users. And this is identified users, not like all. So we thought, let's say 100 users will be there. We are getting only 20. Your VP is asking you to build new capabilities to increase engagement. What would you do? What would you build? Welcome to being a PM. How would you prioritize what you build? How would you build confidence to launch the product? What success metrics would you use? And what are the risks and mitigations? Sounds good? You get 5 minutes, and then they start asking questions. Generally, they don't give you 5 minutes. Generally, they just like, yeah, just tell me, and then you start saying things. So I want to give you 60 seconds. Maybe take your pencils out and start thinking about what you would do. And then I will also say what I will do. And then we will go to this path and start doing things. Okay, we'll use the framework of identify, understand, identify, execute, which is first you will understand why is this happening. Okay, can we pause for like, do you need 15 seconds or you are all done? Anybody who has a solution? Today is a fun exercise, by the way. This is a fun lighting session. We're going to do a lot of things. It's hard. It's level 1 we are playing today, not level 0. Mostly we are trying to just tell you a concepts. Today we will bring all the concepts and try to solve real problems which you will face when you go to customers, when you go for interviews, or in your companies when you are actually trying to build products. This is the exact problem you will be given day 1 if somebody hires you as an AI PM. Or if a VP chooses you to run an AI PM or features. This landscape looks very, very familiar. It happens to me almost every week. If I'm consulting, if I'm working with my teams, it happens even more often. Pawan, go ahead, and then I need to land some ideas. Pawan, you are mute. That's the best way to ask the question.
Thank you. So I want to actually the question is you have to increase the engagement. That means for that first I will not use the agentic RAG that we are thinking, so because currently there is RAG only. So in that scenario, answers are coming from the document, uploaded document only. That means and some fine-tuned document there. That may pre-trained document, you can say, pre-trained data set and uploaded data set. That your things. So in case of when we will do agentic RAG, that means it will give the better answers. That means better response compared to previous one. Due to that, that means customer will get satisfied more such an updated answer to the web search from web data and RAG data. That your things.
Very well done. Today, all I'm going to say is very well done because today is my test, not yours. But yes, great ideas. Before I go to solution, what I will do is I will just say, hey, what I did is I talked to customers, I talked to partners, I talked to the leaders in the company, the product manager who were before me, And what I understood, and I did my own research, I read a lot of papers, I tried to understand this space. This space is very evolving space. And is 20% a bad indicator? Because even ChatGPT doesn't have more than like 20% of total addressable market. So are we really doing bad? So these were the questions that came to me. For that, I did research and I talked to our customers, and I found three major patterns that are blocking the adoption. Number one, there was no differentiation in the product. In 2025, especially for single document, what I learned is that there is no differentiation because the customer can upload the single document in Adobe, in Copilot, in Docs, ask all those questions where these services are. Also, the customer have no way to understand how we are coming up with answers. Our customers are not, what I learned in that process is our customers are not tech savvy. We are talking to the end consumers. We are talking to the doctors, the lawyers. We are talking to contractors. We are talking to police and compliance officers. They have no knowledge of AI, and sometimes they got a good answer, sometimes they got a bad answer, and nobody was solving the problem of bringing them along. So no bringing them along was there, and they already had some tools where they were asking Q&A. When they stored this data with us, they tried the product, but they said no differentiation. And then they never came back. They went to their familiar flows, which is they can ask the same question, right swipe, and do it in Copilot and with Microsoft. So that's the first thing I found. Second thing I found is that people were telling me that you are doing the dumb thing. And I don't want AI to do the dumb thing. The hard part is getting things to your storage, then extracting the right information, and then entering them in some kind of other system that we have in enterprise. And you are not doing any of that. You are just, I get you I get you all the relevant documents. And then I ask a question and then you answer. And then I take that information. Then I have to check it all. And when it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But even when it works, the hard part is me figuring out how to enter it in HubSpot, my compliance engines, how to assign this job to a project manager in my workflow with ServiceNow. And that's not fun. Nobody's doing that. And that's why it's hard for us to deploy these things. And you have done nothing of that either. So yes, you can summarize the things. This is the second part where we were summarizing. So this is single document Q&A. Mostly that's the problem. With summarization, yes, you can give me metadata. For a contract example, you can give me the key terms, but after that, what? Who checks them and who enters them in my CRM? And even CRM was another statement of record. But what is the real challenge is who is automating my workflows? And nothing was offered to me. That's why I never came back to your service. And the last one is I found so many challenges with accuracy. Anything simple was working, but the moment I took it to the larger document, I start doing RAG, I saw that you started giving wrong answers. There was wrong answers. And there was one example, if you can come up. I talked to this company which was doing these banking or loan services, and they have a lot of acronyms like BOA, Bank of America equals to that. And they had a lot of mapping. And all they wanted is if a form somebody hand filled, like they bought this from DMV, the input was a form that DMV gave them. And in the form, they filled the bank information. And they're trying to extract and create a list of all the banks which are providing loan. And they wanted that to be automated with an AI service. When I tried to extract that information, I uploaded all the forms on your platform. And I was saying, hey, give me the list of the banks. All the acronyms were taken wrong. It was taking BOA was differently, Bank of America. Sometimes it was correct, sometimes it was wrong. And I had no way to find it. Because when it did right, then it was also the same answer. When it did wrong, same answer. I asked it to give me confidence that, hey, Can you tell me how confident you are with your answers? And every time it's either 100% or 0%. So when I looked at that, this was not useful for us at all. Any other ideas on problems in understanding space? So that's the first thing you do. You go, you try to understand the problem. These are the things that I identified. If you give me the problem, I would say, what is the differentiation? Because if I'm a knowledge management company, which is a third party, I have first party tool to do single document things. Why would I go there unless there is something differentiated? There's no differentiation. You're not easing the hard part for me. And when things don't work, there is no confidence. There's no way for me to know what works, what doesn't work. There are wrong citations. If you go in larger document, wrong citations, wrong information, and wrong way for me. And there was no way for me to find out what is wrong. Kunal, go ahead.
Yeah, Mahesh, what about entry point and discoverability? What if the AI tool itself is hard to find and therefore adopt?
Yeah, that could be that also. But let's say that is like, yes, hard to discover. That's another problem. Today's session is mostly like, it's an AI session. So I'm just going to focus on AI tenants. That's why I didn't attach. There are 100 other things that you can bring. Nothing is like, Krish, that's the best way to raise hand, right? To just raise hand. Go ahead, Krish.
I think it shows that raise hand instead of clicking the button. I'm using AI feature here.
Oh, really? It does
Yes,
that?
it does
Oh,
that.
great. It doesn't do it for me. Okay, great. So if we understood, let's go with this, right? There's no perfect answers today. I'm just trying to give you a TLDR on how I will solve this problem, right? So first try to understand the real AI problems or AI specific problems, because this is an I'm taking AI PM tenants because those are new. You can add other things also in their workflow. Generally, you don't get to ask too many questions. It's a 45 minutes interview. So you don't get to see their workflow. This is the case study they threw at you. So you don't get to see like then you will get into these questions like, uh, you know, how you know that it's not discoverable. We had a big button on top of like everything saying, this is our AI. And we told every user who came there that we have AI. Then you can't claim that it's not discoverable. So let's go with these. Then comes the second part, which is, okay, I understood the problem. Then what I did is I did a workshop with our engineering team. I brought the thought leaders, the other product managers who have done similar launches inside the company. I built our solution architect, and I did market analysis of our competition to identify what can we do. And I use this framework that some guy Mahesh taught me. You won't say that. You just say, I created my own framework to actually have brainstorming sessions. And I did 20 brainstorming sessions in last 1 month since I joined. And I identified few things that can be done for us to be awesome or to get better engagement. First, I looked at amp up the good. What is the good thing we have? What is the unique proposition we have? And how can we do better? We have 20% engagement. People want something like knowledge management. They want us to do more for them because we are sitting on the most important thing, which is the data that the company has. And that is with us. So what can I do more? Or how can I amp up the good? So currently I build a Q&A service, which was RAG based. How about I offer an agentic RAG solution, which is knowledge graph based. And today we're not going to discuss knowledge graph. We're going to just think that that's a better representation of knowledge, which allows you to connect information with each other instead of just having entities like, lawyer or liability is a contract term. How does liability connects to liability of what? Question can be a user ask a question. If they upload a contract, they can ask a question liability. But liability can be liability of not delivering things on time, not making payments, breaking contract. You don't know, right? This information, the user just asks a question, which is, hey, what is my liability? You, if you do a raw RAG, it may come up with a wall of text answer, which people will hate you because that's what Copilot does, or that's what Adobe is doing. Or you could actually first understand and create a graph. And if you have this information, you can ask a question back, which is like, hey, I think in this contract, liability can be these 7 things. Can you tell me which one are you looking for? Or I can give you all. And the customer thinks, oh my God, this is a smart agent. And you can build it by building Agentic RAG. We have a lab. If you have done the course, please do the Agentic RAG. This is exactly what we are doing this week. So you can do more than with data, just doing RAG. Instead of that, you can do that. Second thing is provide users to provide a feedback when things are going wrong. Currently in the app, we did not have an option. We answered the question and there was thumbs up, thumbs down. We start on letting the customers provide the right answer. So at least after a single pass with the SME in their teams, you have a copy of the best answer stored in your knowledge management system. That will update your graph or just cache the right answers from SMEs. So now the whole organization is relying on a best data to get better answers. So we're going to amp up the good. That's your first. Second is you're going to remove the bad. What was the bad things? Anybody? What were the bad things?
Hallucinations.
Wrong citations, hallucinations, no integrations. So what we also learned in those sessions, some guy came up and told me about this model context protocol. So we will support model context protocol. And we will say, if you have things in our knowledge management, all the downstream services, model context protocol is nothing but a common protocol, which is saying if you have context once as a server, other clients can handle it, and you can start doing a common implementation on any data and expose that as a server. And then any applications which support MCP will automatically will have access to this data. Currently, Replit support it, Perplexity supports it, and many more. Claude obviously is the maker of this. So now I learned that, okay, there is a service like this. So instead of us going and doing all these things or doing these integrations challenges, I will offer their knowledge as an MCP server. And now downstream services like Replit, Perplexity, Zapier, Power Automate, all can discover your knowledge in their workflows. And now people can build these new age workflows with drag and drop and connecting things like you did in Langflow. So now creation of workflow, which is what the customer wanted. They are not looking for Q&A. They are trying to get a job done. And now we can offer these as Zapier and all, and then the customer can create workflows. So instead of us becoming or choking point of just doing Q&A or summarization, we summarize, and now you can create a contract to crash workflow, and you may not need a CLM or a contract lifecycle management system. If you use our knowledge management system, if you dump all the data here, our server will expose it, and then you can use any third-party no-code tool to create workflows to automate in your company. This is where you're becoming agentic. And now you are empowering everybody in the company to go automate at scale because you used our knowledge management system. So that's your remove the bad. And third thing is explore the opposite. So earlier, the challenge was that, hey, I can't go and do great things because I can't do confidence, I can't do reasoning. So why not we offer These guys can go, you can give them data and they can automate. But if you do on top of our knowledge management system, we will reason. We will provide reasoning as an ease through our APIs in this MCP server. So we will offer now the user who are not able to trust us can see how we think and can give feedback on how we think. We will provide confidence. We will identify confidence. And wherever we are wrong, we will say, hey, we will call human in loop. That's another feature we will build. And then we won't stop here. We will not say that it's our fault or your fault. We will also go and build vertical agents for top 3 use cases. And I worked with our market research team, our sales team, and identified them. These are, obviously, I will say contract, compliance. I will do contract, compliance, one agent which can help you understand and monetize your contract. So I'm going to first build a vertical agent which takes care of contracts for our company. So I'm going to use all this and build and publish my own vertical agents too. Okay. So now you have a lot of things you can do, right? So now you can have a whole service as a knowledge graph. You can give feedback as a service. So this allows people to take feedback and train their models. And now you can offer custom models or custom knowledge as a service. Now you can allow people to build end-to-end workflows on your platform. Now you can offer reasoning, confidence, what's missing in the world as a service, and also build vertical agents. So you have so many things that you can do, and you have identified few ways to go and discover these through your teams. So far, very good. Harsha, quick one only. We have 10 minutes to land one last idea, and then we are open for questions.
Just an alternate thought. While we are very confident about what is the bad thing or the pain points of the users, is it a good approach to put more a complex technology like MCP and knowledge graphs in the mix to solve the user pain points, or should we just go with some retrieval metrics on the rack that is already there and see what is the match between the retrieval metrics, what it's saying, and match the user pain points, and then use the human in the loop capability to improve the retrieval metrics and also solve some of the integration problems. I'm just going with the fact that adding more complex technology, may introduce more of the user pain points or aggravate it.
Yeah, so you're addressing the user pain points. You're amplifying the good, you're removing the bad, and you can enhance these, right, with your user stories. So these are your user stories, but you have 45 minutes. If you're going to talk too much about that user story, it's going to get lost. And I got only 15. So what I'm giving you is very concentrated knowledge. You can put milk and water in it to make it plausible to your use case. But this is, you are solving exactly the customer problems that you got. Then I'm taking you 2 levels deep in that, which is, okay, what is the problem? Which system the problem is coming from? It's coming from RAG. Mm-hmm. Okay, then I'm going to go and create this new service called Knowledge Graph. If integration is problem, then MCP is the solution, which is, I learned is new, but now it can allow us to give workflows. So if your integration, now you can build workflows. If you have accuracy, reasoning, and people are not trusting you, then you should go build those vertical agents first. That's your solution, right? So you can lead it either way. It's an articulation challenge, but these are the 3 things I am looking for, which is, did you understood the problem? How are you amplifying the good, bad, and creating opposite? And what does that mean? And what technology that powers it? If you can check mark these, then you are like unstoppable for me. You can do till 2, but then I have this gap. Are you technical enough, or you are just hallucinating in your own world? Angad, can you hold your question? Can we do it after this? Thank you, Angad. Okay, so you did the hard part. And this one I will do little quickly so we can take questions, and then we can... Before that, let me share my screen and give you some more stuff. So this is the perfect time for us to do marketing and say, join our course. We won't say that. We'll say something else. What we are doing is we are starting a community effort where after this course finishes, we want to do a project-based learning like we are doing here. And obviously this 45 minutes, we are not doing justice, but I'm trying to land everything. How about we extend it to a 4 weeks exercise? We do a project like this where we go, we identify, we actually build on left-hand side and you learn. This is a constant feedback from everybody who has done the course that they want to continue to learn. So I thought it would be great if we can do it as a community. If you want to be part of that 4 weeks exercise or a project in community, please fill this form. And if only going to take 500 people, I know it sounds a huge number, but when you do something for free, which comes at $1,000, $2,000 price point at Mevin, it becomes really crowded. So I would highly, highly recommend you to fill the form. And if we get enough, then we will do this project. Else we will do it only with the people in cohort. Okay, I'm going to open it up for everybody and we'll do this project. We'll identify a problem. We'll build something as a prototype on the left-hand side and do a whole exercise of a project. Because I think that's what will make you an AI PM. The courses are obviously a stepping stone. Lightning session is a stepping stone. Course is a milestone. But to reach the destination, you have to do these projects. So I highly recommend you to come get there. Okay. Now the last part of it, which is, what is your proposal? You have identified so many things, Mahesh. Tell us what to do. So what I'm saying is, how might we build a knowledge agent first? The knowledge agent that powers our graph allows our customers to have insights which they don't have anywhere, like confidence, reasoning, how we got to an answer, and then allow them to build their own workflows. And at the same time, we use this to ship vertical agents on our knowledge platform that they can use and deploy. So we are doing two things. We are enhancing our knowledge management with enhanced capabilities like Agentic RAG with knowledge graphs. And to prove it, because there is a lot of hallucination we can do in the system, or we can set hype, then actually deliver results, we also are going to identify one vertical agent use case, which is the most prominent on our knowledge, and actually go and build it with the components we just identified, which is how can we simplify integration? How can we do more than just RAG? And how can we solve customer problems to build trust with them with reasoning, confidence, and better accuracy? Or say, I don't know when we don't know. So these are the two things we're going to do. And first thing we're going to do there, I'm not telling you all these secret sauce because this is another exercise and I thought I can't fit it in 45 minutes. But there is another exercise that we do where we go and prioritize this based on the cost, scale, your feasibility. And based on that, you come up with these two things, which is I'm building a vertical agent. And I identified a vertical agent that we will build for them is contract to cash automation. People have their contracts in their knowledge management system. And now they can actually take the contract, take the key terms, and based on those key terms, start billing the customers or start paying the customer if they send a bill to them. And if there is a discrepancy, they can just bring that discrepancy and send an automatic email saying, hey, you said you are supposed to deliver 100, you only delivered 90, your bill is for 100. Now you can do that. Anybody can do that, small, medium, or large enterprises. We're going to build that vertical agent. We're going to power it on our knowledge system, which is powered by a graph. We will use the existing MCP servers to simplify or ease the engineering effort. And we're going to launch that vertical agent. Behind the scenes, we are also going to launch eventually. So first, we're going to launch a single vertical agent. We will see, this will allow us to see how much value can we add, check our hypothesis and find out all the risks we have taken, saying if this graph is possible or not, this integration is working, MCP is owned by, at this point, It's not an open source Linux Foundation thing. Can we contribute to it? Is it buggy? Does it even work? All those we will validate by us going and launching this. Once it is successful, then we will launch knowledge graph or this enhanced RAG as a service so that our customers can build on an enhanced knowledge and not just dumb RAG, which everybody is doing. And then we will launch this workflows, which allows them to build their own vertical agents because we can't build all the vertical agents, but now they can, if they have knowledge with us, they can build it. Last thing, we will check eventually when we have this. First, we will check vertical agents are easy to check, which is how many jobs they are doing, at what cost they are doing, what is the failure rate. We will also check our HHH, which is helpfulness, honest, and harmless on each job to be done. How many partners we are adding once we have the workflows. The more partner we have, the more workflow people can create. And how many vertical agents job done. So if we are shipping vertical agents or customers are using our workflow to build vertical agents, we are saying how many number of jobs done. Those are just created like high level metrics, but you can break them down into smaller metrics like L1 metrics of, hey, how much is the cost of compute for us for doing a job? How many times we fail? What is the latency of getting a response? What is the request per minute we are sending? All these are lower layer metrics that you can use to support it. But these interviews, I stay very high level and then answer these questions as they come and ask me. So that's the wrap, 9:45. That's all I had. To summarize, what I did is, okay, I have a lot of things to say today. But to summarize, first, you don't start with an answer. Say, I did understood the problem, identify what are the key pain points, what are the things not working, then go and say, I have understood the problem, then use the framework, or you can have your own framework. How can you amp up the good? How can you remove the bad? How can you raise the opposite things which are so painful today? How can you change them? And then with that, you identify how are you going to execute this? What is the bare minimum thing you can do which helps you validate all the risks in your system? And then once you have solved it, then what other services can you offer? And once you have done that, then you go and set up your North Star metrics, which I give few ideas of. And then you can set up your smaller metrics too. I want to pause here and give you one last thing, which is the next session is on 21st of March. Supik is an awesome leader in responsible AI space. I felt that we have a lot of hunger for responsible AI because I've not spoken about it for